Okay, I'd like to welcome my guest to the stage. He's going to tell us how he has saved, in some situations, 40% of his energy when printing flexo jobs, and in some cases, 80%. So please give a hand for Jamie Parker as he joins me on the stage. Thanks, Jamie. Okay. Turn your mic on. It's always important. Okay, we can hear you. That's good. Okay, so I spoke to Jamie a few weeks ago to find out a few pointers into what's happening at Paragon ID up there in Hull. But give us a flavour of what happens up there, what you do, and the company and how it all fits together.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, as you can see, I'm the head of operations for Paragon ID up in Hull. Traditionally a flexographic print house with also leanings towards RFID solutions, whether that be in low-cost access or whether it's adhesive labelling, car parking with a market leader in the UK, as well as having a good strong foothold in the areas such as South America, South Africa and also North America. Our biggest customer is RDG, which is the Rail Development Group. They're responsible for the orange and green rail ticket. We manufacture around 450 million of those per annum. And we're manufacturing all of those more or less using LED technology.
Right, okay. So we're going to come on to these figures.
Yeah.
Okay, bold claims, 40% and 80%. It's massive.
Yeah.
So what products are involved in which savings? How does that work? What have you done?
Yeah, so we've got 3 installations in Hull through Fujifilm. One of those is a hybrid installation, so it's 4 heads LED, 4 heads traditional UV. We did that for reasons around the varnish, so specialist varnishes still needs to be applied using the traditional UV technology, but we can print everything else utilising LED.
And is that to do with energy, the energy required to cure?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. The varnish technology is not quite caught up to the standard print. Right. I'm sure it will eventually. But yeah, it was quite an interesting installation because I think it was the first hybrid installation that the guys had actually been involved in. Now that's the press where we saved 40% energy, right, for obvious reasons.
Because you've only got half the machine converted.
Yeah. But on one of our Mark Andy presses, we converted all 8 heads from traditional UV over to LED. And that's where we've seen anywhere between an 80 and 84% saving. Oh,
it's even better. It's just gone up.
Yeah.
I love inflation. Don't you love inflation? Fantastic. Okay.
So the kind of products that we're manufacturing on there is sort of travel access car parking products. So that could be fan fold or roll format. As I said, we've got eight print stations on there, so capable of printing up to 8 colours or varnishes. And also we can apply numbering, face and reverse on those products too.
Right. And how quickly did that get up and running? I know one of them was a first install of that environment.
Yeah.
But for for a standard, you converted the press from standard UV to LED.
Yeah.
How long did that process take?
Look, we had a few hiccups with it being the first install, of course, but everything was in and ready to run within a week. Okay. And we switched the press off the Monday to start the install, and we were more or less running the next Monday. Right. On the new technology. So yeah, right. really quick, really effective. Yeah.
Okay. So the first experience you had with Fujifilm, I believe, was somebody coming in trying to sell you inkjet heads.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah, it was Dave Parker at the back there.
Is he related?
No, not that we know of. But
okay, it's possible.
But Hull's quite a small city, so. So yeah, Dave came in to talk about print bars to replace our inkjet technology. Right. And the conversation led into LED. And then I was introduced to Mr. Isherwood.
Oh, and, right, okay. It was downhill from there.
We grew arms and legs from there, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're using Luxstream lamps.
Yes.
With CureMax inks.
Correct.
So you converted not only the lamps but the inks at the same time.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We actually installed the inks prior to the LED install, just to make sure that we were comfortable with the whole situation, and then obviously naturally just progressed into the full system.
Okay, so I'm still learning the world of packaging. I'm a letterpress compositor. That's
Okay.
my trade, and a bit of inkjet. But so you can use the same ink with both conventional curing and with LED curing.
Yes.
So that made that step quite easy then.
Yeah, absolutely makes it a lot easier, yeah. Because it gave us the opportunity to get au fait with the ink first and then move into the full system. So
What was the gap between the two?
couple of months.
Right,
Yeah, couple of months, yeah.
So did you do your homework as far as justifying to the board it's worth spending this money?
Absolutely.
How did you work that out?
Yeah, we actually ran the exercise between ourselves and Fujifilm. We obviously provided the information on the energy usage that we were sort of getting at that time, and the guys obviously gave me the numbers that they expected the system to give us, and it was a very quick calculation between the two. We actually calculated it a little conservatively, went lower than we were achieving, and it became a no-brainer pretty quickly. And the good news is the system does exactly what it says on the tin. So it's even easier to justify after the event to move into install 2 and install 3.
Yeah. So I guess there's a dilemma here in that you're saving money, you're saving energy, you want to tell your customers you're saving energy, but they think, oh, he's saving energy, that's going to be cheaper for me.
Yeah.
How do you handle that conversation?
Yeah, there's always tough conversations around that when you're selling, savings and sustainability.
Yeah.
But we've always got something there. I mean, in the supply chain that we work in, there isn't a component that's not increased in price at the same time.
Right.
So this is quite a nice bedfellow to sort of soften that blow.
Right, so you can say, great news, Mr. Customer, I'm saving the planet, but it's not going to cost you any more.
Yeah, I'm sustaining the price, yeah.
Right, okay. So continuing on the sustainability thing, one thing you mentioned there was you do the mag stripe. This has nothing to do with Fuji, but I'm interested. You do the mag stripes that are on train tickets and maybe car park tickets as well?
Not so much car park, but mass transit, yeah.
Okay. And we've all had, in the UK anyway, the orange tickets and whatever, but you've got some sustainability drive there as well. What are you doing with that?
Absolutely, yeah. So the magnetic stripe on the back of British Rail tickets, we'll call them that, is a slurry, a magnetic slurry. Right. Now that traditionally was a solvent-based slurry, so as we were coating the wet slurry to the board, we were emitting the solvent into the environment, which is never a good thing. No. We had two options to take to make that a better, cleaner, more sustainable system. One was to install a full scrubbing system.
Okay.
But the second was to actually develop a water-based magnetic technology.
Okay.
So replacing the solvents essentially with water. So we've been working on that for a number of years, and we're in the position now where we're supplying the industry with water-based magnetic technology. Okay. So that means we don't now need an emissions permit. We can say that the product that we're supplying is more sustainable, and it's doing significantly less damage to the environment.
Right. So that's better not only for the environment, but also the environment people work in.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's true of LED curing too. What's better for the guys on the shop floor? Now you've put the LED curing in and also removed the solvent. What's the environment like now?
Yeah, I think being Yorkshiremen in a manual labour environment, we kind of quite difficult to please the workforce at times.
Yeah.
But I can absolutely guarantee that this has garnered really positive reaction from the operators. From the fact that it's a cleaner environment to work in, the smell is significantly different to the traditional UV. Right. There's no warm-up, cool-down. It's a very simple on-off system for them to use. Right. And everything that we've had feedback-wise from operators has been very, very positive.
So that smell is ozone, I guess?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's not good for people either?
No, not particularly. No.
So did you have people wearing masks and things like that? Or you tough Yorkshire guys, you don't need it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no real need for the masks per se. It's just not a very comfortable environment for them to be working in. But yeah, that's all improved vastly. Okay.
So the big question, I guess, somebody thinking about converting from conventional curing to LED is going to be, how long does it take to pay back?
Yeah.
Have you managed to get to any numbers yet on
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Now, obviously, that ebbs and flows in reality compared to any business case that you make.
Yeah.
But our first business case on the 8-head press with a full conversion,
Yeah.
we were saying there was a payback period of 13 to 18 months. So it was, again, that all fed into the comment I made earlier about it being an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, when you're sort of saving that level of energy, and in a year or a year and a half's time, you're starting to see it on the bottom line.
Yeah.
It just makes it a case that's unanswerable.
Right. And so the figures you calculated before the install came true. You were accurate, were
Yeah,
you?
if anything, a little higher. So
Right.
it was good.
Great. Maybe we're selling this too cheap, Ian. Put it up there. So when you, I guess you've answered this question. I was going to say, when you're printing a job, what is the deciding factor as to whether you put it on a press that's conventional or you put it onto an LED press? But you've already mentioned the varnish.
Yeah.
Is there any other factors?
No, there's not really any particular. Now, the way we're geared up in our factory is certain presses produce certain products. So there's no real, should we print that traditional UV, should we print that LED?
Yeah.
It just depends if it fits within that operating environment. You quite rightly mentioned the varnish, but I think that we really crossed that bridge with the hybrid installation, which was a bit of a sort of last minute request from us, which the guys dealt with really well.
Yeah. Okay. Almost the last question. What does the future look like now for your sustainability drive, should we call it?
Absolutely,
What's next on the agenda?
Yeah. So we've actually employed someone to take care of our sustainability,
Right.
a graduate. We've got a carbon net zero aim of 2040.
Right.
So we're working with a company called Greenly to sort of monitor where we are right now,
Yeah.
and then we can sort of start actioning projects to get ourselves towards carbon net zero. So there's a plethora of things, including electric car schemes, what we can do to improve systems on the shop floor, where we can utilise less energy. There's all sorts of little bits and pieces going on through the factory, because every tender we see now has got an element of sustainability and environmental awareness.
Yeah.
The claim is that it's almost as important as price. In practice, I'm not quite so sure that that's true, but it's all part of every single tender that we get involved with.
Yeah. Yeah, you generally find with sustainability, it's either going to be very convenient or it's going to have some price factor in it.
Yeah.
Because we're human beings, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
You take the easy route.
Yeah.
So I guess also you're getting pushed by your customers and you're pushing your suppliers down the line to get that all working.
Yeah, absolutely. From our paper supplies, we expect them to be FSC accredited.
Yeah.
You know, they've got to be using the right chemicals within their materials, and it's all part of the bigger picture.
Yeah. Final question.
Okay.
If anyone's sitting out there thinking, okay, I might want to do this, what would your key piece of advice, if you were sitting in front of them now, what would you say is the key piece of advice for them to start that process?
My key piece of advice would be don't stall. It's a system that does exactly what it says on the tin. It's not just false claims. As soon as you get that system installed, you will start to feel the benefits immediately. Right. So get the case in, get it approved, and get the system installed as quickly as you can. Don't dither. Let's move and get it going. So
putting that into practice, when did you first find out about LED curing, and how long was it before you made up your mind?
Maybe 3.5 years ago was the first conversations.
Yep.
And I'd say within 6 months, 9 months, we had our first install.
In this industry, that's quick.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Okay, how are we doing for time? Any questions from the floor? Nobody wants to ask. When's the next order?
When's the next order?
Actually, there is one. Because talking about your, devising your own slurry, and also yesterday I was talking to somebody who had started creating their own substrates.
All right.
Now,
okay.
Is this something that happens a lot in the flexo industry, or is it a trend you think is, people are starting to embrace all sides, not just rely on suppliers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did used to get the slurry supplied into us, but the company that we received the slurry from decided to wind down. So we actually bought the kit and intelligence from them and decided to take that on ourselves.
Yeah.
I think, you know, you bring anything like that in-house, you create cost savings straight away.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the beginning, but you certainly feel a benefit a few years into that,
Yeah.
and we certainly have. So I could see more people doing that. Our site in America, for example, at EDM, they not only manufacture slurry, but they thermally coat their material in LAN as well.
Right.
So they've taken that to the next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, whereas we buy all of our thermal paper already coated.
Right. So I think in the commercial print space is what I'm used to. People sort of take things off the shelf and use them, and they complain if they don't meet the need precisely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas it seems like in the flexo industry, people go, well, okay, how can I change this? How can I improve it?
Bring more in-house,
Yeah, and more, they get their hands dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
that's interesting for me as a newcomer into the flexo side.
Well, let me tell you, making magnetic slurry, you get your hands very dirty. So
yeah, it doesn't sound great. Yeah. Okay, Jamie, thank you. Please, round of applause for Jamie.
Thanks.
It's been great.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay.